Today, I'm taking you into a completely different universe, one packed with eerie spiritual folklore and modern alien tech straight out of science fiction. Yep, you guessed it. It's Dandadan, the ultimate hot pot of a series, a world where ghosts and aliens both exist side by side. And the main character of this first episode on Dandadan is none other than the very first boss who stole the protagonist's family jewels and kicked off the entire mess of a story, the Yokai world's own Usain Bolt, Turbo Granny. If you're ready, buckle up and let's get into it. As of the most recent chapter, Turbo Granny is arguably one of the strongest yokai in the entire series, which honestly makes sense, seeing as she's the chosen one destined to become the main character's pet. How could she not be busted? This character is based on the famous Japanese urban legend of Tabo Bachan, better known as the 100km/h Granny. She's usually described as an elderly woman with white hair, a hunched back, unnaturally long limbs, and tattered clothing, with the word turbo printed on the back. She can instantly hit speeds of 100km/h, both in movement and reflexes. And on her home turf, Mount Roko in Hyogo Prefecture, she can max out at 140km/h, since that's essentially her territory. Turbo Granny likes to lurk on highways, dangerous roads, and accident-prone stretches. The moment she spots someone speeding or driving recklessly, she'll race them. If the driver's in a car, she'll knock on the window just to mess with them and provoke a reaction, usually scaring them into losing control and crashing. Despite how terrifying she looks, Turbo Granny isn't actually evil. She's just obsessed with speed, and punishing reckless drivers or street racing delinquents is basically a side hobby. If you actually follow traffic laws, you've got nothing to worry about. But if you do run into her, even if you haven't done anything wrong, do not turn around and run. That'll make her think you want to race her, and losing that race comes with a deadly curse.
That's the urban legend. Now let's talk about how it plays out in Dandadan. It's actually pretty close to the source material. In the supernatural world of the story, Turbo Granny is an ancient, powerful yokai, once known as the 100km/h Granny who terrorized people all across Japan. While wandering around, she stumbled onto the spirits of several young women who died in an abandoned tunnel in Shono Town. When they were alive, these girls were brutally murdered there and passed away full of resentment. So Turbo Granny decided to stay in that tunnel to comfort their spirits and keep them from turning into vengeful ghosts, helping them pass on peacefully instead. Because of that, she curses anyone who enters the tunnel by stealing their family jewels, which is exactly what happens to Okarun, and it's how the whole story kicks off. She first shows up in Chapter 1, the Turbo Granny arc, the series' opening arc, when she runs into Okarun, real name Ken Takakura, the male lead, as he heads into the abandoned tunnel at the suggestion of the female lead, Momo Ayase, trying to prove that ghosts aren't real. See, going in, the two of them each had their own beliefs. Okarun, a die-hard believer in extraterrestrials thanks to his obsession with ufology, and Momo, who, thanks to her grandmother being a spirit medium, firmly believes ghosts are real. Naturally, they each shot down the other's theory. But the second they run into Turbo Granny, Okarun bolts, pants basically falling off, hopping on his beat-up bike. And obviously there's no escaping her. She's fast enough to catch up easily and successfully curses him. Four wheels barely stand a chance against her, let alone two. After getting cursed, Okarun loses his jewels. At the exact same time, Momo runs into trouble with a group of aliens from planet Serpa. And through some conveniently ridiculous plot magic, Okarun manages to use Turbo Granny's power, since she's possessing him at that point, to go save her. Momo ends up awakening her own psychic powers in the process and forces the old lady out of Okarun's body. But the curse is still active, so as a thank you for saving her life, Momo decides to help him break it, meaning they need to get back the literal gold-plated goods that basically every faction in the story is after. The two challenge Turbo Granny to a game of tag to try to trap her. They're still pretty green and end up getting outsmarted at first, but through teamwork and effort, they manage to take her down, with a huge assist from Seiko, Momo's incredibly powerful exorcist grandmother. But hold on, it's not over yet. Right before getting purified, foul-mouthed Granny manages to slip back into spirit form and possesses Takakura again, waiting for her chance to flip the script.
The next day, while taking a leak at school, Okarun realizes he's still missing 2 of his marbles, and the unlucky old lady gets caught almost instantly. Seiko and Momo team up and finally force her out of Takakura's body for good, leaving her no choice but to hide inside a Lucky Cat plush doll. To make things worse, only her consciousness ends up in the doll. Her actual power gets sealed away inside Okarun's body. After getting outplayed one too many times, Turbo Granny realizes she's outmatched and strikes a deal with Momo. Help find the 2 golden marbles for Okarun and she'll get her power back. From then on, Turbo Granny lives at Momo's house and becomes Seiko's best friend, helping out the 2 leads in their group throughout the rest of the series. And that's how the series' foul-mouthed little mascot was born. Appearance. In her base form, Turbo Granny is a hunchback old woman with stark white hair, dark wrinkled skin, and 2 huge eyes like a car's headlights, giving off serious don't mess with me energy. She wears a simple traditional Japanese outfit and goes barefoot. Her signature opening line is famously crude, basically a filthy pickup line she throws around for shock value. Second, in spirit form, she looks like a long trail of smoke with a face, eyes, nose, mouth, and all, but way more warped and ghostly. Third form, when fused with the earthbound spirit crab, she takes on that spirit's giant crab body too, except pumped up to a Pro Max version. Think a massive emperor crab monster with an old woman's face slapped on. 3 noses, 3 mouths, 2 enormous eyes, flowing white hair sprouting off the shell, and instead of 6 crab legs, 6 ripped human legs. As of now, this is the strongest form we've seen from her. Fourth, when she possesses Takakura and takes full control, his limbs stretch out, his back hunches over, and his nails turn razor sharp. His face fully transforms into something close to Turbo Granny's base yokai form. And finally, her stuck in a cat plush form, technically her sealed state. It's an adorable Lucky Cat plush doll with a bell around its neck and a gold ingot on its chest, reading what's presumably a huge sum of money in Japanese. If anyone fluent wants to confirm the exact wording, drop it in the comments. After her consciousness ends up trapped in the doll, she gains an insanely powerful ability, luck manipulation, basically controlling cause and effect. More on that in the power section. The catch is, she can't actually control it. Personality. Foul-mouthed and pretty crude, sure, but Turbo Granny isn't really a bad yokai. You could even call her kind-hearted, considering she was willing to camp out in that abandoned tunnel for who knows how long, just to comfort the spirits of those unlucky girls. She's also clearly an animal lover, shown when she looks out for an abandoned cat in chapter 144.5. Both examples point to someone genuinely soft-hearted, who can't help but care about people or creatures in rough situations. Back at full power, Turbo Granny was extremely confident in her speed. Arrogant, quick to anger, easily provoked, but also more than willing to cut corners. Case in point, when Momo challenges her to a race to prove herself, Granny doesn't hesitate to cheat to win. After getting weakened and reduced to freeloading at Momo's house in her Lucky Cat form, she talks a big game about getting revenge on everyone who screwed her over. But she still helps the group out and answers every question they throw at her when they actually need it. As long as they pay her in snacks, of course. Powers and abilities. As an ancient, powerful entity, Turbo Granny naturally has access to every ability a high-tier yokai would, plus a few unique tricks of her own. Insane speed. She can move at 100 kilometers per hour through basically any medium, through cell signals in the very first chapter, or when Okarun's spirit gets pulled all the way to Hokkaido, where Seiko and Turbo Granny go to handle business, or through power lines, when Okarun's spirit travels back from Hokkaido to his real body, which is lying there unconscious in a hidden bunker in Kamigo City. Possession. She can easily take over a person's or spirit's body and control them, which comes with a very visible physical transformation. We see this directly in her Turbo Crab and Turbo Okarun forms. Curses. Turbo Granny can curse literally anyone, including her own host, and at her most extreme, she can curse to death everyone the host has ever laid eyes on. Classic high-tier yokai stuff. Time manipulation. She's shown the ability to freeze time around herself, and can even choose specific people to exclude from the effect. Those affected experience physical side effects like nosebleeds. Environmental control. She can transform the tunnel's concrete into arms that wrap around and pin enemies down. Spirit summoning. Turbo Granny can call on nearby spirits to possess people and fight alongside her, but this only works within Shono City, her own territory. Basically, every spirit in that city answers to whoever's in charge there. Side note, in the Dandadan world, every major yokai or deity has their own territory, where they're way more powerful than anywhere else. Size shifting and clone creation. She can enlarge herself and create a second body, mainly to intimidate and pressure her opponent. When she deactivates the power, both bodies merge back into her original form. Resistance to other yokai's influence. In later encounters with the death-warmed Tsuchinoko or the villainous yokai fairy tale card, Turbo Granny talks tough about staying cautious, but she's actually completely unaffected by their powers, possibly because being trapped inside the doll puts her outside their reach entirely.
On top of all that, one absolutely broken power she picks up while sealed inside the Lucky Cat doll is cause and effect manipulation. This lets her grant someone insane luck, protecting them from just about any bad situation by quietly rearranging a chain of seemingly random events into one wildly improbable stroke of good fortune. She first uses this power during the fight with acrobatic Silky. While swallowing Momo, the yokai accidentally swallows its own hair too, and completely by coincidence,
The fake cross Ira borrowed to purify Momo, mistakenly believing Momo was a yokai, actually turned out to be a lighter. Okarun and Momo, who had already been swallowed, used this lighter to spark the fire.
this ends up burning acrobatic Silky from the inside out, letting all three of them narrowly cheat death and escape. Or take chapter 34, when Momo's at a hot spring and gets harassed by the Keto family men. Suddenly the spring erupts, wrecking the bathhouse and letting her escape, while everyone outside notices and chases the harassers down. The eruption even creates a gorgeous rainbow in the process. Another time, when Okarun and Turbo Granny are exhausted and trapped under Gigi's house, Tsuchinoko's slime just happens to coat and protect them from the volcanic heat. The downside to this power is that she can't control it at all. Turbo Granny herself has confirmed that this luck doesn't belong to any one person, meaning enemies can just as easily end up benefiting from it too. On top of all these powers, Turbo Granny also carries a massive well of spiritual knowledge about creatures, techniques, combat methods, and info on other powerful yokai. She's helped Momo's group out more times than we can count, like training Okarun to help him understand rhythm and grow stronger, or knowing exactly how to save everyone trapped in the deadly game created by fairy tale card villain. She's also surprisingly in tune with modern civilization. She's shown to be pretty comfortable using a smartphone, for instance. In summary, looking at both power and intelligence at her absolute peak, Turbo Granny is arguably one of the strongest yokai to ever appear in the series. The only one who might be able to go toe-to-toe with her at full strength, in my opinion, is Reiko Kashima. Since she showed up and got taken down so early, almost anticlimactically, we never actually got to see her cut loose in a real one-on-one against a top-tier opponent.
Now that Okarun's tracked down both of his marbles and returned her full power to her, hopefully we'll get to see a lot more of Turbo Granny in the future. Or, well, maybe not.